जय हिंद दोस्तों, मैं हूं आशीष नारंग और आप सबका स्वागत है द ग्रोइंग प्रोफेशनल शो पर। इस शो में जैसा कि आप जानते हो, मैं हमेशा एक नए एक्सपर्ट को लेके आता हूं जो आपकी किसी ना किसी प्रॉब्लम को एड्रेस करते हैं। दोस्तों, काफी बार आपने नोटिस किया होगा कि कुछ लोग अपने करियर में बहुत फास्ट प्रोग्रेस कर जाते हैं और हम लोग एक लेवल पर जाकर अटक जाते हैं। तो हम लोग काफी टाइम जेलस फील करते हैं कि वो कैसे आगे बढ़ गया, उसने ऐसा क्या किया, उसके अंदर तो क्वालिटी भी नहीं थी। लेकिन दूसरों को कर्ज करने के अलावा हम क्या कर सकते हैं, हम ऐसा क्या कर सकते हैं जिससे हम अपने करियर में तेजी से ग्रो कर जाएं। तो इसी क्वेश्चंस का आंसर जानने के लिए कि कैसे आप अपने करियर में फास्ट पेस ग्रोथ पा सकते हैं और एक मुकाम पर जल्दी पहुंच सकते हैं, हमने इनवाइट किया है दीपा चंद्रशेखरा जी को। दीपा चंद्रशेखरा जी एक बुक की ऑथर हैं। बुक का नाम है द करियर एक्सेलरेटर फॉर्मूला और काफ़ी सारे ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम्स रन करती हैं, काफ़ी सारी वर्कशॉप्स रन करती हैं, ना सिर्फ फ्रेशर्स को बट ऑल्सो काफ़ी सारे सीनियर मैनेजमेंट के लोगों को भी गाइड करती हैं, वन टू वन मेंटोर करती हैं ताकि वो अपने करियर में प्रोग्रेस कर सकें। काफ़ी सारे टिप्स आपको मैंने पहले ही अपनी बुक्स से दी हैं, लर्नर टू अर्नर से। तो इसके आगे और क्या पॉसिबिलिटीज़ हैं और इन दीपा चंद्रशेखरा जी का क्या व्यू पॉइंट है करियर में प्रोग्रेस करने के लिए, चलिए दीपा जी से जानते हैं। वेलकम ऑन द शो दीपा जी, इट्स बीन लॉन्ग टाइम। हम लोग एक दूसरे को जानते हैं एंड आई नो यू हैव हेल्प्ड सो मेनी पीपल इन ग्रेट वे टू एक्सेलरेट इन देयर करियर। सो हमारे ऑडियंस से काफी टाइम से डिमांड था। आई ऑल्सो शेयर लॉट ऑफ वैल्यू फ्रॉम माई बुक लर्नर टू अर्नर की कैसे अपने जॉब आप फर्स्ट जॉब ले सकते हो और कैसे आप जॉब चेंज कर सकते हो, बट यू बीइंग एक्सपर्ट स्पेसिफिकली ऑन हाउ दे कैन फास्ट पेस देयर करियर ग्रोथ। सो वी रियली वेलकम यू ऑन द शो एंड आई एम श्योर कि हमारे ऑडियंस को बहुत ज्यादा आज वैल्यू एडिशन मिलेगा इस सेशन से।
Thank you so much, Ashish. I'm so glad to be here with you, talking with you, because yeah, we've been talking for a long time, and fortunately, lockdown for us has worked well, and we are able to connect over Zoom and just take it forward. So thanks for having me here.
माय प्लेजर। सो पहला क्वेश्चन मुझे जो आया है ऑडियंस की साइड से ये है कि काफी टाइम कुछ लोग तो देखते हैं हम अपने सराउंडिंग्स में बहुत जल्दी करियर में राइज कर जाते हैं, कुछ लोग वहीं के वहीं स्टक रह जाते हैं जिस पोजीशन पे वो स्टार्ट करते हैं, मे बी सिर्फ उससे एक लेवल हाई पे वो जाके रिटायर भी हो जाते हैं एंड दे आर नॉट एबल टू क्रिएट गुड मनी एंड गुड रिस्पेक्ट फॉर देमसेल्फ। ऐसा क्यों होता है? कैन यू शेयर
Yeah.
सम रीजंस अबाउट इट?
Yeah, so that's a very good question, and that is the reason that prompted me to get into this field where I am working with leaders and helping them transform their careers. So let me share a short story which will help to it will help to convey the reason of why some people get stuck and some people move forward. So there were a group of frogs, and they were talking together, having a fun time, and they decided, okay, this coming Sunday we are going to go and we are going to attempt scaling a tower in their city. So they had a tower in their city and they said, okay, we are going to scale that tower. So there were 10 frogs who decided and said, ठीक है, इस Sunday सुबह 8 बजे हम सब वहाँ मिलने वाले हैं and we are going to scale this tower. So all of these frogs got together, and on that day there were the other community of frogs which got together to to help them and to shout for them and to motivate them. So ये 10 फ्रॉग इकट्ठे हुए सुबह 8 बजे उसको चढ़ने के लिए, उस टावर पर चढ़ने के लिए, एंड दे स्टार्टेड। अभी उस कम्युनिटी में से बहुत सारे फ्रॉग्स बोलने लगे, नहीं नहीं, यू कांट डू इट, नोबडी हैज डन इट बिफोर, व्हाई डू यू इवन वांट टू अटेम्प्ट इट, यू माइट फॉल डाउन एंड डाई, सो लॉट ऑफ पीपल स्टार्टेड सेइंग दोस थिंग्स. So some frogs gave up. Out of those 10 frogs, a few frogs said, no, I don't want to attempt it. Why should I die right now? So they didn't even start their journey. A few frogs said, no, we'll keep moving forward. So they started their journey. But in between, when they kept hearing that noises that don't do it, you can't do it, it is not possible, none of the frogs had ever done it, a few frogs gave up in the middle and they came down. But there was one frog, one frog that kept going on and on and on. People kept telling him, everybody has given up, come down, you will die. This frog was not stopping. He was going and going, and he reached the top of the tower. And then he came down, and then all the frogs came around him and say, what happened? How were you able to go there when nobody has done it before? And this frog just smiled and went away, right? So the moral of the story is that frog was deaf. That frog was not able to hear anything that anybody was saying.
Interesting.
It was so committed to its own goal that it said, no matter what, I am going to reach there. And that is what happens with most of us, Ashish. We reach a certain point, but because we have heard so many things from around us, which people say, "Arey, yahin tak bahut hai, security is more than enough. You have a good bank balance, you have a good salary, you have a good home. क्यों risk करना है? क्यों आगे बढ़ना है? जहाँ हो वहीं रहो." Right?
Yes.
These noises around us, and we give up on our dreams. We give up on our goals, and we live a very, complacent life, very mediocre life, which is way below our potential. And that saddens me. That is why I'm doing what I am doing. But so I think that is the main reason of why people don't grow.
राइट द पॉइंट यू हैव रेज की स्टेबिलिटी को लेके बहुत लोगों के माइंड में रहता है कि अरे अभी नई कंपनी चेंज करेंगे, वहां का नया एनवायरमेंट कैसा होगा, लोग कैसे होंगे, बॉस कैसा होगा, लेट्स के यहाँ चल रहा है ना, चलने दो. Very rightly said. So, next
Exactly.
question,
Yeah.
coming to follow this thing only. So, what should be done? One thing is we should not give weightage to others' opinion. But what one can do to fast pace their career growth? So, can you guide on us?
Yeah. Sure, sure. So like you said, fear of failure and fear of the unknown and fear of being judged, we are all guided by those fears all the time. So I, to my clients and to my, circle of people who work with me, and even to, people who are listening to me, there is a 4-step formula to your career growth and to accelerating that career growth. So the first step that I always talk about is rebuild yourself. Right? And we can talk about that as we move forward. So I'll just talk about those 4 steps now. So the first step is literally rebuild yourself. Okay. The second step is identify your North Star. What is that purpose? What is the goal that you're trying? What is the dream that you have? It is very, very important to have clarity on where do you see yourself in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the line. So I call that identify your North Star, right? The third step, which is very important, is we all have a secret weapon which we don't use. God has gifted us with a weapon, and we just don't use it. It is lying with us, but nobody has taught us. Nobody has told us that we have it. So it's just lying there unused. And I'll talk about that. But so we have to start using this secret weapon, which is the power of choice. The power to choose. That's the third very important. And the fourth important thing, which is the deal breaker, right, is investing in yourself.
Great.
Right? I have seen a lot of people who put themselves in they are the last person that in the priority list, they are the last person. So their family come first, their kids come first, their parents come first, their job come first, their colleagues come first, their boss come first, their company come first. And then when I ask them, where are you? Well, they are there somewhere at the bottom.
Yeah,
so the fourth important thing is to put yourself ahead and invest in yourself through different ways and means. It's not just the money part of it, but really spending time to grow. That's the 4-step formula.
Right. So as you said, the first step is rebuilding yourself. Rebuilding, what do you mean by rebuilding yourself? What exactly one should do?
Yeah, so rebuilding yourself, there's a very beautiful quote by Dr. Joe Dispenza. I follow him closely, and I think everybody should go and listen to what he says. So Dr. Joe Dispenza says that your personality creates your personal reality, right? So, and our personality is a sum total of what we think, how we feel, and how we act, right? So thinking, feeling, acting, it becomes our personality. And if we keep doing it over a period of time again and again and again, by the time we are 35 years of age, 95% of who we are is a programmed being, right? We are a set of habits, we are a set of patterns, and we are doing the same thing again and again and again, right? And if we keep doing the same thing again and again, we keep getting the same things again and again.
Right.
Right? So if we have to change what we get, we have to start doing something different, which none of us do. Right? So rebuilding yourself is now thinking about what you're thinking. It's paying more attention to how are you feeling.
Right.
Also paying attention to what are the kind of actions you are taking or not taking. Right? So what is it that you're doing on a daily life, which means being more mindful, staying in the present, acting despite your fears.
Right.
These are small steps. Even if we can do one thing every day which is stretching us beyond our comfort zone,
Right.
which is making us nervous, a little nervous every day.
Mhm.
That means moving in the right direction.
Right.
So, rebuilding yourself in one sentence, if I had to explain it, is start getting comfortable being uncomfortable.
Right. So as smart people say, it works like a compound effect. If you change a little bit every day, in long run, it's a big change in yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's like the financial savings also. You save a little money every day. At the end of the year, you actually have a good sum, right? So similarly, it works with our skills, and the skills, our mindset, our thoughts, they are like, they are like muscles, Ashish. If we keep working on them again and again, they'll start building. We will not see results overnight, but over a period of time, like you said, it has a compounding effect. And we suddenly see things changing. We suddenly see opportunities coming. We suddenly see everything around us becoming so interesting,
Yes, actually.
right? So build yourself.
Right. And the next point you said, like having a goal, having some your North Star fixed. So,
Yeah.
like if we consider from career growth, career change, so what should be the realistic goals and how people should set these kind of goals for themselves?
Yeah. So, so goals are very, very important. Unless we set our goals, we'll never know what are we working towards. And the reality is that most of the people who come to me, most of the clients who come to me, they come to me in a state of chaos. They are not able to go beyond what is happening in their life. And every day is a very reactive day for them. सो अच्छा, आज मेरे बॉस ने ये कहा करने के लिए, मैं ये कर देता हूँ. आज मेरी फैमिली ने मेरे को ये बोला तो ये कर देता हूँ. आज मेरी तबीयत ठीक नहीं है तो एक दवाई ले लेता हूँ, राइट? Okay, now let me go to a doctor, get a test done, and somebody says, okay, you are on the verge of getting diabetes, go start doing something. ठीक है, आज मैं अपने डाइट पे काम कर लेता हूँ. So everything that we are doing is a very reactive way of addressing all the aspects of our life, and career being one of them, right? So when I say identify your North Star, instead of seeking, whatever is coming to me, we have to start getting a little bit inside us to understand what is my strength. What is it that I enjoy doing? What energizes me? What excites me? जब बच्चे थे तो हमें इतना मजा आता था कुछ कुछ काम करने में, right? People used to have fun playing with games or some puzzle, breaking things, those different kind of hobbies and passions that they had. But we just let all of those stuff go as we grow up. So it's time to go back. It's time to go back, sit with yourself. थोड़ा सोचो कि मेरे को what energizes me, because what energizes me, अगर मैं वो करूंगा तो I'll never run out of energy, right? So we have to start looking at our strengths, what excites me, what energizes me. That's one portion of it. Then we have to look at what are the competencies that I have gained, what are the skills that I have gained, right? And then where do I use what energizes me, the competencies that I have to serve the world, right? The intersection of all three becomes the magic zone. So if we identify the magic, then our life is going to be magical.
Actually, yes, magic is bound to
Right?
happen in that place. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And that is exactly what happened with me. After spending close to 20 years in corporates, where I was doing pretty well. I was working with large clients, global clients, big teams. I was doing all of that stuff, right? But then I realized that's not what I want to do for the rest of my life. And then I used to hear people telling me, Deepa, I think you'll be a good coach. Deepa, I think you'll be a good trainer. आप जिसको भी help करते हो, they really, create an impact in their life. So why don't you pick up something in that area? Hear to what people are telling you. You have to hear the feedback which is coming to you, right? So important to sit with yourself and decide, where is my North Pole? What is my purpose? What do I want to do? And then align your career towards that.
Exactly. Yeah, very interesting. So you also talked about the secret weapon. You said like we always have some capabilities that we never use. So how one can identify, as you have shared the three, the aspect in the previous answer, but like what this could be the one way to identify, and what else you want to add on
Yeah.
it? Yes. how one can
Sure. So
identify their secret weapon and use it for their benefit.
yeah, absolutely. I think that's a beautiful question, because that is a weapon that all of us have, but we don't know, and because we don't know, we don't use it, right? So this secret weapon that I talk about is our power to choose, right? All of us continuously act like victims. मेरे बॉस ने ये बोल दिया तो आई एम इट इज लॉजिकल टू फील बैड. आई हैव हैड अ फाइट विद माय स्पाउस, तो मैं क्या करूं? अगर कोई मेरे को ऐसे बोल रहा है तो बुरा नहीं लगना चाहिए क्या, right? Or the market is bad, there are no jobs, how should I switch my job right now, right? There is so much of politics in my office, I don't know how people survive, and definitely I can't survive in this politics, right? So people are always always behaving as victims to the circumstances. But what I say is that if you just sit back for a second, right, we all have the power to choose, power to respond to every situation. Okay. And that is like taking my power back, taking control over my life. So, okay, the market is bad. Absolutely fine. For example, in these cases, a lot of people have lost their jobs, right? Because of COVID situation and what we're going through right now. Now, they have two things that they can do. Either they can sit at home and say, "Arey, meri job chali gayi, poor me, kya karu main, kuch karne ka, I'm not able to earn anything." So they can sit and cry and crib for the rest of their lives, right? And whereas you will have the second set of people who will say, "That's okay, I have just lost my job, I have not lost my life. I have the freedom to learn so many things during the next 3-4 months that I have, right? I can become a person that will never be asked to go from my next organization." Right? So it's so important to choose the way you respond to situations. Most of us keep operating in our circle of concern. Circle of concern is jiska mere upar koi, I have no power over that. The weather, the market conditions, the elections in US, the party which is going to win in India. We keep crying and cribbing and discussing about those things. But jo hamare haath mein hai, our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, our emotions, the way we respond to situations, we don't think about that. You are on mute, Ashish.
Yeah, so great. So one, you have shared very deep insights about it. Until unless you take charge of yourself, nothing is going to change. You have to take a charge of your decisions, your actions. Then only you can think of moving to the next level. Great.
Yeah.
So
And one thing I'll just add here, Ashish, is that the only thing which is in our control, and this is the only thing in the entire world, and this is the commonality across everybody. So the only thing in our control is me, my thoughts, my words, actions.
yes,
Our entire life we are trying to change others,
right.
but it doesn't work.
Agreed to it. Agreed.
So it's important to realize and accept that the only power we have is on ourselves. And the earlier we realize and start using power, the earlier we're going to see the change in our lives.
Right. And the thing is, like, as you shared, power of choosing in our hand, and same is giving priority to ourselves is in our hand. Like, as you answered in the previous question,
Yes.
like, we give priorities to so many people, so our company, our spouse, our family, our parents, but at last we give priority to ourselves. So, like, what is the power of
Yes.
giving priority to ourselves, and how we can be benefited out of it? Can you share on that?
Yeah. Yeah. So, what I have seen based on working with so many clients, the moment they decide, it's just one thought that from now on, I am going to make myself the most important person in my life. And I want to just add to that, it is not about being selfish, right? What I'm saying is don't become selfish, but start giving importance to your requirements. And that is what I say, which is called self-love, self-acceptance. That is a very big part of my program of what I do. Because when people come to me, they literally hate themselves. They are so unhappy with themselves. I am not a good communicator. I have never been able to talk to people. I have been rejected so many times in the past. I cannot go and give interviews. They come with so much of baggage
Negative
about
thing.
who they are not.
Yes.
And they are so happy with themselves. Right? But the first thing is, unless you are comfortable in your own skin, how can you be the best version in your jobs?
Right.
Right? So investing in yourself means giving yourself that importance, believing that you are good enough. You are not perfect, but that's okay. Right? We are all a work in progress.
Right.
Have to accept that I am a work in progress. I'm a Rolls Royce. Like one of my clients has started saying, I'm a Rolls Royce in workshop. So the end product is going to be Rolls Royce, but I am still a work in
Work in
progress.
progress. Yes, agree. And the same thing I want to tell you from my experience. Initially, I worked with very big company. Then I switched to a smaller company. I realized that this is good. Definitely, I learned a lot of things from that company. But when I switched job to a multinational company, it was like that had many presence in many countries. And when I joined there, I realized that people are having skills either equals to me. Definitely, many people had skill set better than me. I had a lot of learned from there,
Hmm.
but many people working on a senior position than mine were not that good in many skills. For example, communication skill. For example, their mathematical, their Excel, the Word. Even those were on a senior position, but they were working in that company and giving very good results. So many times we think that
Yeah.
others are quite better than us, but reality is not the same. We don't believe in ourselves and we rate
Yes.
our others quite much more than actually what actually they are. So that's the case.
Yeah, yeah. And based on analysis and based on data, it is shown that 99% of the people, right? 99% of the people have a mask on their face. They want to hide their vulnerabilities.
Right.
They want as if they are the best. Right?
Right.
And but that is not true. Everybody has imperfections.
Actually,
We are all human beings,
humans. Yes.
right? The people who the first question that you ask, who are the people who go rise above all of these things, are the people who start getting comfortable with themselves. They say, I am good enough. I know I don't know these things, but it's okay to learn.
Right. They accept.
Right? And yeah, just accept yourself as you are. That is investing in yourself. That is the first component. The second component is, you know a lot of times we set our goals, but then we are not our best motivators. I want to get up tomorrow in the morning, but if there is nobody to ask me, I'll go back to sleep 100%.
Yes.
Right? So even when we are working on our goals and we are working on our dreams and we're working towards our North Star, it is important to have an accountability partner.
Perfect.
Your partner could be your friend, it could be your spouse, it could be your kid, it could be your colleague, or it could be a coach.
Coach. Right.
Right? So that is also investing in yourself. And the third important thing is the information that you consume. What are you reading? What are you listening to? How much of news are you consuming on a daily basis? All of that results in who you become.
Who you will. Right. So,
Invest in good things.
yes. Definitely, I'm going to ask you about the resources that you recommend. But before that, I want to ask you a question. Like many people, as you already raised this point, many people have lost job during COVID. There are many women who want to start their second inning in their working professional life. So, how they can restart? How they can restart even in better way than what they were doing previously? Definitely, four-step formula you have shared. And apart from that, if you want to give some advice to them.
Yeah, yeah. So for women, one of the biggest advice, or my 2 cents, being a woman, I have faced all of that in my life. So one of the biggest thing that we always struggle with is guilt. Guilt of not being at home, guilt of not being with the kids, guilt of not spending enough time with my family. So again, my fourth point of investing in yourself and making yourself the most important person,
Right.
right? So for people who are returning back into career, I just want to say that it is okay to now make yourself the most important person in your life, right? And spend the time which is needed to grow yourself, to to come to that level where the industry is ready to take you back. And nowadays, Ashish, the corporates, they are working on inclusion and diversity is one of their core KPIs, right? So they're looking for women leaders who can come and do well in their organizations. So, and there are a lot of programs which are being opened by a lot of organizations. Everybody is looking for women to come back and work. So opportunities are abundant. All you need as a woman is strength inside, willing to know what is working for you, what is not working for you, identify your skill gaps of where do you want to apply. Do you want to go back into technology? Do you want to get back into a leadership role? Right? So know the skill gap and then, work with someone who can help you reach there. Right? If they can do these four things and continuously work towards that, there are a lot of opportunities for women these days.
So now I request you to share some resources, maybe because as you shared somebody's name, I don't remember that, but you shared
Dr.
some
Joe Dispenza, yeah.
Dr. Joy. And what other channels on YouTube or what other websites you recommend, or maybe some book list that you recommend to the audience? You have also written your book, so tell
Yes.
the audience about that.
Yeah. So I think one of the first books that I would recommend is your book, Learner to Earner. I think that's a great book.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
it's a
having that
very
book with
well
me.
written book.
This is
Yeah. So I would recommend all the viewers here to, definitely go and read that book because it is very well written and it gives very good insights, right? Then I have written a book called Career Accelerator Formula. This is a book which is based on my program, the program that I
yes,
run
great.
for corporate leaders. And this book will take you, it's written in a workbook format and it will take you step by step towards your goals. And it addresses all the four steps that I spoke about earlier, right? So it will help you to identify your beliefs, transform them, upgrade your skills, and then, invest in yourself. And you can do it while working through this book. So there is, it's like a workbook. So I would definitely say, give it a try, it will help you. Some of the other
Definitely.
that I recommend is The Secret of Leadership by Prakash Iyer. It's a it's a beautiful book of stories. The story that I shared, the frog story, is also from that book.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so that's a great book. And some of the podcasts that I hear are one is by Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's a neuroscientist and he talks about your mind and how it works and how you actually rewire your thought process. And so he's a very, very good person to follow. Then Jack Canfield, Success Principles, is a beautiful book. But just
Yes.
kind of summarize, there are tons and tons of resources these days, right? Sometimes, there's so much of information available that it becomes a distraction.
Destruction. Yes.
And too much of information, my coach says, I work with a coach. I work with multiple coaches. And my business coach says that too much information is like a donkey who has a lot of baggage on their back, right? Information without action is useless. So, so I would say that, read a few books, learn few new things, but then make sure that you are taking action.
Perfect.
That is the main thing. Even if you learn one thing and take action, I think that will take you forward.
Right. So for our audience, I want to highly recommend Deepa's book because like I have also read that book and I found it very, very useful. And as she shared, this is in form of workbook. आपको जो भी आपने पढ़ा उसके बाद आपको एक एक्शन एक्सरसाइज है, you have to do that exercise so you improve after reading every single line of that book. So ये आपको एक बहुत ही फास्ट स्पेस, बहुत कम टाइम में आपको बहुत ज्यादा रिजल्ट अगर चाहिए तो आई हाईली रिकमेंड हर बुक. एंड इस बुक का करियर एक्सेलरेटर फॉर्मूला बुक का, लर्नर टू लर्नर बुक का एंड what all resources we have mentioned, सभी के लिंक्स आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में अवेलेबल हैं. यू कैन गो एंड चेक इट आउट एंड आई हाईली रिकमेंड टू परचेज हर बुक. मेरी बुक तो आप ऑलरेडी मे बी मोस्टली ने परचेज की हुई है एंड हर बुक यू शुड गो एंड परचेज. Right. So you also run many courses because see, definitely books बहुत help करती हैं if they take action. But sometimes what happens, हम उतने motivate नहीं हो पाते by reading books. We need somebody to push. We need somebody to guide and mentor us. अब भी काफी सारे courses run करते हो, काफी one-to-one sessions provide करते हो. So tell our audience about that as well. how you can help them become better version of themselves.
Definitely. So it's a journey, right? Our transformation, inner. I say it is an inside-out process. So we start with our inside transformation, which is rebuilding yourself, and then it leads us to the right kind of mindset with the right job, right money, right satisfaction. Everything becomes right. So I run a program which is again, the name of the program is Career Accelerator Formula. It's a journey of 4 months, and I work with corporate leaders, and these are the people who are feeling stagnant, they are feeling dissatisfied, they are not getting their promotions, or they're setting goals but they're not able to reach their goals. So it's a 4 month journey where I take them through every step of the process. And they could be starting wherever they are right now, but they will definitely feel more confident, they will meet their goals, they will set higher goals, and some of them also launch themselves as entrepreneurs after this. So your career goal could be anything, but so through this program, which is a 4 month journey where you work very closely with me, and I take you through this journey to help you reach your goals and just build the best version of yourself and build a career that you absolutely love. That's what I do through this program. Then I do offer one-on-one coaching for very, very senior people. So that option is always there. And then I also do keynote, as a keynote speaker, I visit corporates and I do speaking sessions. So if your corporate is interested in having me as a guest speaker, then I would be willing to do that as well.
Definitely. And as Deepa shared, like she helps you identify North Star. She shared that like many of her clients, they were working, but now they have become entrepreneur. So like you will identify what your real potential is. You'll be able to choose your goals and definitely will prioritize your priorities first and take action. So I highly recommend you to get in touch with Deepa. Her contact details, WhatsApp number, and email address are again given in the description box. I recommend you to go and check it out. And you can send her mail or before calling, just send her WhatsApp. So like because many times she's busy in the session and some keynote speeches and all. So better you WhatsApp her, take an appointment, and give her a call. So Deepa, it was
Yes,
really
I do give.
yeah.
I do give a free coaching session for anybody who's interested to work with me in the long term. So I'll also share the link of my calendar. You can book an appointment and I'll call you and I talk to. So that's a free session that anybody can avail.
Perfect. That will be great. Like if you feel like you are ready to step ahead in your career, you want to accelerate your life, then definitely I highly encourage you to book the appointment right now. I'm sharing the link in the description. Go and check it out right now and book. Like it's absolutely free. Nothing is being charged. But I recommend you do it only if you are safe. Do it only if you're safe.
So that is my
because our time is very much valuable.
Request as well.
Yeah, because our time.
My request is only if you are serious to work on yourself, only if you are serious to work on your career, then pick a slot. Because if you pick a slot and you are not serious, you are taking someone else's time, right? I could have spoken to somebody else who is more serious than you. So you are absolutely serious and you need my help, I am there, and that's why I offer these free calls. So the three things I do, Ashish, if you can quickly say, in a few seconds. So the three things we do in that free call. The first thing is we identify where do you want to go, what is your goal. The second thing we talk about is what is stopping you, what are your showstoppers, why is it that you're not able to go there till now. And the third thing we do is we create an action plan. So that you have an idea of what is it that you need to do to get started towards that. Right. So these are three things that we do in that free call. And then at the end of it, if you want to work with me even beyond the free call, I share about my, my program and how do I work and all of that stuff. But otherwise, this is a no obligatory call. Again, like I said, if you're serious, you're welcome. If you're not, get serious and then talk to me.
So like if you are ready to take action, book an appointment. If you are still thinking like you will be taking action or not, firstly I recommend buy the book. At least you have clarity what she can do for you. Then book appointment in that case.
Yes.
So that will be better way from my point of view.
And I'll also share you can follow me on LinkedIn. I'm on YouTube. My videos keep coming on different social media platforms. So we'll share those details.
Yes, yes. And like, thank you so much, Deepa ji, for being on the show. Like, it was really nice. And for our audience, as I shared, the contact details are in description box. And you can see here or here the channel link for Deepa. Here could be my channel and here could be Deepa's channel. I recommend you to subscribe both the channels so that you can being connected with us for long term and get a lot of value out of this program. Thank you so much, Deepa ji, for being on the Growing Professional show. It was really nice. And actually, as the name is Growing Professional, it will help the professionals who are watching this show to grow in their career.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you so much. It was really nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.